Hi, my name is Shamash Aladina. I'm author of the book, The Mindful Way Through Stress, and I'm going to be sharing with you 3 ideas and 3 ways you can practice mindfulness to help you through these particularly stressful times we're going through at the moment. So what I'll do is I'll begin by sharing a little story about how I've been managing the situation. And so I live here in London in the UK, and when the lockdown first started here, it was really challenging for me. Anxiety was a bit higher, and I noticed right from the beginning I was struggling more with sleep, much more than I normally would. And at the same time, I really wanted to help and support. I educate and train a lot of mindfulness teachers, and they were out of work, so they were looking for ways to work online, and I really wanted to help and support them. And there was so many, I was trying to think my way through it, and there were so many ideas coming up and ways that I could help, and also at the same time feeling quite tired and overwhelmed, not sure how to help the situation. And then I had an insight, and the insight was actually not to try and control the situation so much, and to have more of a letting go effect. And obviously it's much easier said than done, and it's something that came to me. So the first tip I would say is allow things to go through the natural course. With mindfulness, we always talk about acceptance comes first and change comes after that. And so at the moment, because of all the huge changes happening for you, and every person will be going through a different experience, many would have negative experiences, but some of you may even be having a positive experience, and that becomes negative too, because then you start feeling guilty. Like, so many people are struggling, and I'm, because of circumstances have changed and things are better for me, should I even be feeling happier? So because of all these changes happening, it is more of a challenging environment for so many people. So allowing things to be they are, bringing a sense of acceptance. And if that means, not being able to sleep properly, not being able to do the things you want to do, not being as efficient as you may normally be, of course, feeling more frustrated easily, angry, scared, tired, lonely, allowing all these feelings to be there. And what mindfulness does is really put the welcome mat out for all these experiences. So the first thing I want to say is see if you can start bringing a little bit more acceptance and allowance of however you're feeling, and appreciate that we're going through some of the biggest challenges as a society that we've faced for maybe 50 years or so. And so it is bound to be hard, not just on the big level society level, but for each individual as well. And appreciating that can really help. Secondly, the second thing that really helped me is a question which comes from both mindful practice and self-compassion practice. And that's asking myself the question, how can I best take care of myself right now? So that's a great question to maybe write down. And I don't know if you do any regular journaling, but journaling can be a great way to help get your thoughts and feelings out in the morning, just for a few minutes, or at the end of the day, whenever works best for you. But in that journal, also ask yourself, how can I best take care of myself today or tomorrow? And it's a question that you can start reflecting on as you go through the day. So maybe after watching this video, you could just take a few moments, take a few breaths, and just consider, how can I best take care of myself? Maybe I need to take a bit more of a break. Maybe I need to call a friend. Maybe I need to take more action and deal with something. And see if you can try and keep that action as small as possible. The problem for most people is not that they don't aim high enough, is they aim too high. And so it's much better to start really, really small and then take an actual action, something that you'd be able to see yourself doing rather than just thinking. That can really, really help. And the last one is something from the book, actually, that I wrote. And that is the traffic light. Consider the traffic light of communication. So I think relationships and communications really, really being challenged right now. When people are forced to be at home, be in close quarters with people that not used to spending so much time with, or perhaps in isolation where you kind of may feel trapped being on your own. But first of all, let's consider the communication element. So the system is quite simple. It's just a red, yellow, or green light system. So let's say you're feeling really frustrated and someone's done something, someone in your household have done something that you feel really angry, you feel really overwhelmed, you may lash out in anger, or you may feel really, really down by what they've said or the actions that they've done. That should signal in your mind a red light. So you can say, okay, I'm in the red light zone at the moment, and so I need to be extra careful. And maybe the best solution would be not to say too much, but just take yourself away, give yourself some time to rest and recharge if you can, get out of that situation rather than trying to work out the solution. Because what's happening is your mind has been kind of hijacked in a way, and you're not able to think so clearly. So if you can, and even that's really hard, but if you can get away from that situation for a little bit, allow yourself a few breaths, come into the here and now if you can, or do whatever works best for you to start slowly shifting out of that red light, or at least give yourself time to go from that red light situation to maybe yellow. And the yellow light in communication represents something that you are being challenged with. Maybe someone saying something that is really frustrating for you, but it's not to the point of the tipping point. You don't feel totally overwhelmed. And there's some space for you to be able to take a few mindful breaths, to just pause before you respond. And there is that sense of choice there for you. And that's a really, really critical point. And if you can just tip the scales by just being a little bit more mindful, being a little bit more at ease, you may want to take yourself slowly out of the situation or speak in a slightly calmer way. There may be some opportunity there for you to get into the green light. And the green light of communication is when you're in a state where you feel open, you feel present, you feel aware, and you don't feel overwhelmed or challenged by what other people are doing. And so just being aware of those traffic lights can really help. I find that it's a really great model, and say, okay, at the moment I'm in a red light, so there's no point in me even trying to communicate too much. Let's see if I can just get out of the situation and minimize kind of any damage that could happen to that relationship. And that could really, really help. And if I'm in the yellow, I know it's going to be hard, but I may be able to practice a bit of mindfulness, take a few deep mindful breaths, which can trigger the relaxation response and help, or just be really, really conscious of my feet on the floor. And that's something that's a nice little tip, because of when you're talking to someone, you know, it's quite hard to be mindful and breathe, but you can always feel your feet on the floor and feel the sensations of your feet in your shoes, for example. And in the green light, there isn't so much of a problem, is there? Because you're already open, aware, and present. So there's some little tips. The first one is about acceptance and allowance, making space for you to have all those emotions rather than criticizing yourself or forcing that emotion to go down, or trying to get rid of tricky thoughts as well. Letting them be there, appreciating we're going through some of the biggest challenges that we've ever faced. And when society goes through those challenges, each individual also is impacted by that. Whether it's, you know, a really hard situation that you're facing, or even if your situation may have somehow improved, there's a difficulty even in that. So just appreciating and see if you can bring a sense of acceptance to the way things are. The second one's how can I best take care of myself? And that's a practice of self-compassion and an act of kindness to yourself. And that can help you to kind of recharge and replenish yourself. It's a bit like putting your own oxygen mask on, so then you can support others. And finally, remembering the traffic light of communication. Check which way you are in red, yellow, or green light, and that can help you to decide what action to take to help improve your communications. Thanks a lot for watching this video, and I wish you all the best in these challenging times. And I hope this was useful for you. And if it was, then do please share it with your loved ones and friends and family.